the people, them never come for you tell them, say, my zip done perform with them backstage and cry. So you always have to take a deep breath and you're ready again. And you know,
you had on some wicked shoes that time.
Exactly.
So you took
me
it
drop backstage too.
Me no care now if you is a Delilah.
Hello and welcome to Simply the Best, the show highlighting some of Reggae Sumfest's best moments over the 20 years. Now today we have our very first special female guest since the start of the show. Now when you talk about spice, you think about a substance used for flavoring, giving that added touch to bring out a taste in something. And our guest today is maybe just that or a little bit more. One of the leading females in the business, she has definitely brought her own flavoring to dancehall music, and that's why people love her so much. Spice is here to help us celebrate Reggae Sumfest's 20th staging. But before we speak to her, let's have a look at some of her spicy moments on stage. After that, we will be joined by the spicy diva herself who will say, "Scorn them, what you hear about?"
Without any further delay, she's nice. Reggae Sumfest dance all night. Spice! Spice!
Scorn them! What you hear about? Let it go. Me's a girl, me no fight over man no. From a little bit of just summertime now. This a girl don't go and give one after that it's not full. Just get the bomber. Talk about girls so like it's over man no. And everybody knows that me a name brand now. When me a white, they can do wicked this last. I repeat the girl about it. Should die before I wake. These are some things I wanna say. Living in Jamaica's like living in a country that don't care. The killing, the robbing, the raping, the nice. Every day people cry about the hiking of price. House of Parliament no care. I'ma not apologize. And oh, government me I beg please, stop raise gas every week. And the roads were repaired. The toll is too there every day. They raise the bus fare. Oh no, soon start charge you for the air. When we breathe, we have to pee around here. House and live is just too there. It's unfair, unfair. Every dance I fit done by two. Wanna fit do the just no one do. By the time you make police, I done the dance them, oh yeah. Send them out to walk, but them go check container. No fun, no make ya. How them enter? Now we make we have fun, find the wanted killer. Let me talk the things them for the whole of Jamaica. For the trade center, for the youth get better. The pressure the dance and the dance all get better. Everything we talk about them. Because the young fun we have, where the baby passa. Passa, passa. So me I tell you say, oh, government me I beg please. Right now.
Right, lots of excitement happening right there. Spice, what do you remember about that performance?
I didn't even remember it.
You are definitely colorful and talking the things them, as you always say.
As I always do, every Sumfest. I think maybe that song was hot for that year. That's what I normally do, you know. Every year I try to put out my end of a best and go with what's hot and what's happening. So I think maybe that year that song was maybe running the place or something, and I just flip it my way.
But a lot of people don't know that your first performance on Reggae Sumfest actually was when Ninja Man called you out of the crowd. I know you don't remember the year, but talk to me about that time.
It was a few years ago. I think it was, you know, maybe in 2003 or 4. It was like a lot of years ago, but I remember I was at Sumfest and Ninja Man, you said, yeah man, I'm going to call it. Because Ninja Man is always calling me up as in that and, you know. Yeah. Bad girl, and of course, I was nervous because it was my first year and the crowd was like, Massive.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm used to always performing and Sting and mash up the place and run the place. But, you know, Sting crowd kind of mix up and Sumfest is more of an international audience. So it kind of get me a little butterfly. But, of course, you don't know when Ninja Man call me up, I not let him down and I go as him that and represent. And, of course, as usual, mash up the place.
You remember what you sang?
I can't remember.
You just freestyle.
You need to find that clippings, but I really can't remember. But I remember that I did extremely well because the following year, you know, Johnny goes on, he started to book me as a solo act. Solo act. So
shout out to Ninja. Ninja boss our
so I big up Ninja, man. I'm a father that you don't know.
And after that, now you've been just bringing it year after year. Talk to me about when you first got your set to perform on Reggae Sumfest.
That year I still can't even remember, but as usual, I always, for any stage show at all, I always, you know, put out my endeavor best, whether it be whatever I wear, my clothes, anything at all. Whether it be my hair, you saw my hair last year.
Blue hair.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I always do my extreme and endeavor best to please my fans and to, you know, just to rock the audience and to just bring it. Because, you know, as an entertainer, a lot of artists don't realize that you can't really go to a stage show, especially one of, you know, a Sumfest stage show, normal and regular. It have to be something worth talking about. So,
well, this is definitely worth talking about. Let's get some audio on that.
Someone won't let them up. I say what none of them who don't let them leave them can't do nothing. You know who tell them what they say? Huh? Them boy come in and me bed and him a hype up. Me make him do 3 minutes. And then me hype up. Man, you up he pick me cherry when he ripe up. 5 days, my man a pick up a lady.
I used to not hear that.
You are cracking up. You are cracking up. You remember that?
Yes, I remember that here. And you see, as I see my hair right there, so you know, and I think I reflecting last year Sumfest when I did
the blue hair.
The blue hair. And I remember after I did it, everybody I said, watch your Spice of follow Nicki Minaj, Spice of follow Lady Gaga. You know which year that? You see me here? You see the color, you see the length, everything about it. So, me I do this from a long time.
You set your own trend.
Me I set this from a long time. I don't even remember what year that was, so far back in Sumfest. But even like I said, I always try to come different. And, you know, it's a stage show, so I just... I don't see myself I go regular on a stage show.
I agree. And normally, when you're at Reggae Sumfest, you know, say a bag of artists perform dance all night. But when you're getting into that wee hour, when you know that, all right, the giants of dancehall, they're gonna be taking the stage now. But you are also mentioned in that time slot as well.
Yes,
is it
definitely
more pressuring, you know, to know that you're gonna set the stage right now for the hardcore section?
For me, I don't think it's really pressuring because I believe in myself and I always have confidence and I always plan my set like in advance. I always plan my shows. I always put my fans first and just put myself in them shoes and know say, yeah, me I go please them. So I always have some witty lyrics as well. I know say me I go dig up the forward there regardless where them put me. I feel, you know, I believe in myself. So it doesn't matter.
Do you think you have to work hard? Not necessarily you, but females have to work hard for a forward on Reggae Sumfest.
Well, not for me as a female. Most people always say as them have to work hard for dig up a forward, but for me, all of my year at Sumfest has been extremely well. I did extremely well, so I mean, it really no matter, I know. Them can't make me close the show. Me right feet and plan feet. I believe in myself.
Definitely.
I think on stage show, you know, me always do good. Always do good. Me need a piece of board for
knock right as well.
Knock the glass. I always do extremely good, so. It doesn't matter where them put me, I'm ready feet.
Watch ya. No, sir. And you always have some dancers. Do you tend to feed off their energy and walk me through a rehearsal? Because I've been on video shoot with you before and I see a boss and say, wine, me say.
Yes. It's a form of entertainment. I mean, people pay their money for go Sumfest and they want to be entertained, so you have to give them the whole package. And, you know, I just always bring a little extra for them. Last year I brought out Maya, and they didn't even expect that. So it's just, for me, it's just a stage show, and you have to bring the package. It doesn't matter. Just go the limit. It doesn't matter. So for dancers, surprise act, it doesn't matter. So I just always try to entertain them.
And how do you feel about a performance after you're done? Like, have you ever had, like, you said, shooks, I could have done that differently. Did everything go according to plan? How do you feel? You rip it apart? Or
well,
you just
most
live
of the
in
year,
high?
like I said, I always do good. But of course, there's always something. Like last year, I need to tell you, my outfit was made of glass.
Yes.
So you know the glass is heavy. And I mean, if you tell you, my fiance is always there helping me get dressed. So when he must zip up the zip, Lord Jesus, it go pop. Of course, I was panicking, and I was like, oh my, and it was like they were on stage calling my name. So Dexter Pottinger was there and trying to sew me up, sew the clothes up on me. So stuff like that do happen and you have a panic. But of course, when you reach on stage, you can't, the people, them never come for you, tell them, say, my zip done pop, and them be backstage and cry. So you always have to take a deep breath and you're ready again. And you know,
you had on some wicked shoes that time.
exactly.
So you took
me
it off.
drop backstage too. I remember the shoes. But the shoes was also made of glass. And of course, it was that heel cutouts and dig outs and stuff like that. So when things like that happen and you panic a bit and you come off stage, even though I do extremely well, I'm a mash up the place. When we don't know, I'm a cheer a little bit, I'm a feel good and say, yes, I do it. We go back to the cussing.
Alright, and you never had that.
Yeah, but that's how it goes all the time.
I have been asking artists if when they perform, they, you know, haste to see what the media is going to say about their performance, if they take validation from that, or it's all about what I put out, what I deliver, and I'm confident in what I do.
No, you have to definitely take validation for whatever the media puts out, or for what other people, even the audience, will say. Because you will hear it in the street, you know. You might tell yourself, say, yeah, you do good. But when you reach back at town, you know, you hear it talking on the streets, you know. So, you know, you have to listen, and people will say, you know, she do that, or she never do that, or she should have do that, or something. Them will even tell us, say, you should have entered with that song there, or you should have done that, or when you did a song there, that you should have done. People will say that in the streets.
Do you remember your most talked about Reggae Sumfest performance?
I think it was the year before. I think it was that year when Michael Jackson died. And I did a tribute, a small tribute to Michael Jackson. I came on in a red jacket with gold, you know. And I did a little tribute to him and stuff. I think I did extremely well that year.
So I kind of feel like I need to go into my man voice right now to do this interview with this artist right here. She's not a female tonight, right?
I'm both of them. I'm both of them. So you have to tell me who you want to interview, if it's Spice or Splice.
All right, so let's do Spice first, and later on we talk to Splice, right? So Spice roll out on a bike and bear things.
Always try to entertain my fans, and that's just, you know, that's just me. That's just Spice. Always trying to spice it up. So come out on a bike and thing, and I mean it for ride the bike, but we never learn fast enough.
Spice, you always go hard. You always touch in the social commentary. And I mean, what you think about the time you work this year?
I could have worked later too, same way, greedy, right? It was okay, I was scheduled to perform at 1 o'clock. I mean, before I used to perform earlier. And so it's growing. Maybe next year I can perform 1:30 and the year after 2 o'clock. So I'll take my time and grow. I'm getting there.
No, what you need to do is to say, Spice need to perform 1 o'clock, but Splice put me 4 o'clock.
Yeah, like what them says, a male-dominated business, right? I see me I deal with, and that not gonna go on.
So talk to me about the transition now from Spice to Splice on stage.
It was crazy, and once again, it was better than I expected. The people were having fun, they loved it, they were cheering even when I was exiting, and I used the male voice. It was just like a huge forward. I mean,
I wonder if the one them have to start going like, come on. Pop off all know we got them. Back it off from now. Pass the man something them. Let me show them something. Say take it off, Spice. Yeah. Let me deal with it like, come on. On the mustache look. You see me I deal with them. No while them have to hear you, man. So let me make a transformation and deal with like, come on. But give me something. Yo, Sumfest. You think they would rate me more? If me was a man, I did a drop it hardcore. You think they would rate me more? If me say, hey, you girl, broke out. Alright then, make me DJ like a man. Girl wine for the beat, and this your fi boom pan. Girl a wine and a go down and a you one. Wine like a cartel.
Me go all a airport, me go and me sight my vado. Come over and say me have a crush pan yo. A long time me have something to tell you. Him say, Spice me no care now if you is a Delilah. Oh, long time me want you give me some. I use one, me glad cartel and know me baby daddy. Finger use cake soap and baby. Change the skin color, turn it with a zombie. I let me